Well, hello there, everyone. I'll make one thing perfectly clear. I'm not in a happy mood today. It's not of the chapter, it's personal. Personal life really just have to be, what's that word? A real pain in the ass. Let's just say that. No idea what has happened. Well, whatever, it doesn't matter. That's not what you are here. Even though I am the angry anime fan, the semi-retired despair reviewer, although I technically only review Eden Zero nowadays because I lack information on what to do next. This chapter is a little bit short and sweet, but we see a little bit more of Mora and the glue guy, so to speak. It pisses me off that he handles Shiki so easily. Come on, let's just Shiki one-shot him. But he is so far the most dislikable of them all, mostly because of his personality. Either way, he stuck everyone else with some glue power, and as soon as he sees Pino, he proceeds to attack her too. Now, that is something that pissed me off very much because, well, again, you dare hurt Pino? It turns out also that Happy can shoot his bullets even when Rebecca is not aiming him, but he aims much better with Rebecca because Rebecca is, after all, an expert aimer. A subtle hint that they really combined their powers together as French. So, of course, Mora has to shift away. So, Shiki does something else. He uses his powers to actually uproot the tree. Um, uh, and here we get a minor hint that we still don't really have a full explanation on why ether gear fails to work when someone is tied up. We have only gotten the clue that the best way to nullify an ether gear user is to tie them up. This glue is tying them up as well, meaning they cannot use their ether gear. But according to Rebecca, as long as he can move his arm, it doesn't matter if he's tied up. Meaning, apparently, more it's if you can stop the arms moving, then you cannot move. It seems to imply that. So Shiki runs with the tree and tries to attack Mora with the tree, but of course fails. Turns out Mora's power is actually just as gross as it is a little bit broken. Turns out that we don't really know exactly what it is. In fact, it almost reminds me a lot of Maria power. But Maria was a slime girl, although technically she stretched her limbs before she actually revealed she had slime power. So this seems to imply it is an ether gear, although we do not see ether lines on Mora when he is doing all of this. But whatever, he can create a sticky substance from his body and feet as he launches himself at Shiki, breaks free of the tree. And even though Shiki tries to fight, it's it seems very hopeless. In fact, the other of the gang does confirm that Mora does have some kind of ether gear, a glue-like ability that we do not know. Shiki, as expected, is not pleased over the fact that they're hurting robots, but then Mora pulls off that typical, looking down robots thing, which makes Siggy's conquest of humankind all the more dark of the fact that there are those that feel like it. Is the fact that he is saying this is his missions, but Shiki is saying the robots have hearts. But of course, Mora does not believe that as he managed to capture and immobilize Shiki. What makes this talk even darker is that Brittany and Orc, the other two, arrives, having just apparently finished off the giant combat robot. As it turns out, that Orc is actually half machine, although is saying that he should be pretty offended by that. So yeah, well, it turns out that Orc doesn't really look just alien; he is half robotic. This is almost just the same thing of the first inner circle of Draken Yuo's situations. So they're in the middle of a mission, and that. But then when they say Shiki, Brittany scans him with her glasses eye, as we all know. And here's something very interesting. Either this is a typo wrong, this could be Siggy's real name, or there is someone else, just like Shiki and Siggy, who has the power of Saturn's gravity. Because they scan Shiki's ether, and it's called Demon King. But it's then that Orc says the same as Shura's. So, well, I'm a little bit confused, I have to admit. Is he saying that Shiki's ether is the same as Shura's, meaning that it's just as high? Or is he saying that the Demon King's ether is the same as Shura's? Who the hell is Shura? We haven't even gotten a hint of that until now. Either Shura is someone who's working for Nero and there's someone else there, or there may be something else to it. Either way, back to the Eden crew. They are the reluctant allies, except Klein are helping with their can about the fighting off all the many different robots, as Klein is doing much more. Here's actually something that is a bit wrong, though. I don't know if this is also a typo wrong or if we just had got the wrong information. Which calls Klein's power here wind flow, the air current ether gear wind flow. However, according to Klein in the Draken Yo arc, the name of her ether gear actually was Wind Snatch. So at the beginning, I thought Wind Flow was, well, Chris's ether gear, but this seems to be a little bit confusing for me. Either he rewrote the name of the ether gear, or the name of the ether gear is Wind Flow. It's just that Klein calls it Wind Snatch, because after all, Gravity ether gear may just have had an original name, and then it became Saturn's gravity, So, so even Moscow is actually for some reason helping by still flapping with his arms of it all. It's kind of droopy. It's kind of droopy of it all. So Chris is just complaining that he's doing work for no pay. But the chapter ends with an implication that something dark can happen eventually, and if that happens, then we are in serious trouble. Sister contacts Hermit, who is not in the gunner's seat. She is scanning everything else, knowing why the robots revolted. She knows it's because of Siggy. He wonders if he hacked every single android and simultaneously, or built a server, if he could use the internet. But then suddenly, she got a jolt as she says, if we do not stop this, it could corrupt the shining stars too, implying that despite the fact that Siggy says that they were worthless to him now and he was going to throw them away, he is implying, he is not implying, it is implying that even they can become corrupted through this, whatever it is that Shiki did. As I said, Siggy somehow has become a virus, and he somehow has hacked the robots. There has been some implications that some robots are fine, but it's not yet confirmed if it's because they are fine, has somehow become immune, or if they're just fine for now. Because according to Hermit's words, it almost sounds like they're fine for now. But if the shining stars get corrupted too, then we are in serious trouble. So this arc just got even more darker than it already was. Still no sign of Elsie or the other members of the crew. No idea why, but I hope that will be answered soon. Regardless, though, I'm a little bit worried here. What is going to happen? Is the shining stars really going to become corrupted? Something dark is on the horizon. And more importantly, what did Hermit find? That is there? I mean, if there is some way to cure all this corruption, is she implying that there is something on this planet? All those answers hopefully will be answered. But yeah, we also got a new name, Shura. Actually, that name has been used before in Hiro Mishima's mangas. It was actually used in Raymaster, I believe, from an enemy that surprisingly became an ally. I'm saying surprisingly because the way he was introduced, he looked almost like an unforgivable villain. Turns out it was just a noble demon or some sort. So yeah, I was kind of surprised. But I am still surprised, though, over the fact that that name was just dropped. Somehow Shiki's ether is similar to Shura. What is that implying? Are they now gonna imply that Shura is somehow related to Shiki? Nah, that can't be it. Because according to them, it's the ether, and the ether is the Demon King's ether, aka the Saturn's gravity ether. So, is there a third user of Saturn's gravity? Well, there's just so much we do not know. Give me your thoughts if you have any.